Well, we are back with another transfer show, and still West Ham haven't signed anybody. As you know, we've been linked to left, right and centre with players all over the world, but again, nothing has actually transpired into a real link or a deal for the club. Well, all except one, with news apparently breaking that West Ham have bid £31 million for Burnley defender Tarkowski. Now, I'm not sure, and I don't believe that West Ham have actually bid £31 million, but the rumour is that Burnley are open to offers for up to £40 million for the central defender. Now, just go and pay the money if you want the defender. If we Moyes has made it clear that he wants a central defender, and that is his priority. Go and get the deal done. If you have, suddenly you're finding a little bit of extra £1 million here, there and everywhere, just put the money where the mouth is and go and get the player that Moyes wants that will make the difference in that defence. We are desperately crying out for a defender, and in my opinion, a central defender is exactly where we need to start before we even look at the fullbacks, because you've got to work through the central and the guys that control the back line, and those two guys are the fundamental reason why West Ham are struggling since we sold since Winston Reid's been injured and since James Tompkins left the club. We've never had that calm, collected defender, and Tarkowski brings that, or maybe another defender, but either way we need to strengthen that part before we even start looking at the fullbacks. Anyway, get your comments in as we go along the video and let you know about our other links that are coming to the club. Let me just remind you though that we do bring videos to you about links that are brought to the club, but we are not saying 100% these guys are coming to the club. What we want to do is just let you know what they potentially could bring, a little bit about their history, skills, assists, goals if they've had any, all that sort of stuff. So let's get back into it. Two players who cover positions that we need to strengthen also, like I've said, is fullbacks. Emerson Palmieri dos Santos, 26-year-old Brazilian-born Italian international, left-back stroke wing-back, currently plying his trade at Chelsea Football Club. He's mainly a left-back, but sometimes, as I've mentioned, he's been deployed as a left wing-back and a left midfielder on occasions. He's played for his boyhood club in Brazil, Santos, and he found himself getting a loan move to Serie A side Palermo, where he played over 9 games and was mainly their backup left-back. He then secured a season-long loan to Roma in 2015, again struggling to secure his first team spot. But he did gain a run of games in 2016 that made Roma buy him outright for approximately €2 million. He did, although, suffer an anterior cruciate ligament damage in May 2017, which did scupper his following season, making only a handful of appearances for the club. I think he only appeared in total for Roma 30 times, scoring 1 goal. He then found himself a target for Chelsea, who then signed him on a 4-year deal for a reported fee, yes, a reported fee of £25 million. And since 2018, he's only made 30 appearances for the club. Internationally, he's played for his native Brazil in under-17 level, but he later declared his desire to represent Italy, having been granted Italian citizenship in 2017. He's since been called up to the Italian national team, making a senior international debut in 2018, and he's played over 7 games. He seems to offer, what's his style of play? He seems to offer, when we look at Emerson's stats versus Alonso's stats when they were both plying for that left-back position, he didn't offer any attacking contributions to that entire Premier League season, where Alonso offered 2 goals and 4 assists. So there's some comparisons there in terms of really can he make it at the club. However, upon further inspection, it's clear that Emerson provides teams with much more attacking contributions than his fellow left-back in Chelsea. One of the modern full-back requirements is the ability to start attacks down the wings with minimal team support. With teams playing expansive football, having full-backs who cannot catalyse attacking actions, it puts a team at liability as the team's attack is forced to repeatedly develop on the opposite side or through a certain action. He fulfills that exact fullback requirement for Chelsea and Italy. He's able to start attacking plays on the wing, and often with one nearby midfielder or winger. This makes him an extremely versatile player, but also adds attacking value to the team as it opens up new avenues for the team to strengthen up that defence. He gets forward, he can come back. I do like the sound of him, but there may be a stronger fee. Maybe Chelsea will be looking at a loan deal out there. Do we want to start entering loan or negotiations in general with a club like Chelsea, especially with the Declan Rice rumoured stuff that's going on about? I'll talk more about that in a minute. So let me know your thoughts on the link with Emerson from Chelsea. Next up is a player who currently plays for Arsenal, Said Kolasinac. Apparently Arsenal are willing to listen to offers in the region of £9 million for the fullback, but I'll be surprised if that alone is not enough to put West Ham off. Kolasinac started his career with Schalke and played over 100 games in 5 seasons, scoring 6 goals. He's 27 years old, fullback. He did spend time on the sidelines when he was at the club. He tore his anterior cruciate ligament, but he did bounce back in style and was named in the Bundesliga team of the season in 2017. And we know that's quite a hard feat to get to. Before securing a move to Arsenal, of course, where he's played over 70 games, scoring 2 goals, but has recently found his way down the pecking order due to the signing of Scottish international Kieran Tierney. Kolasinac is regarded as a versatile defender who can slot into all defensive positions if needed, which is going to be a positive move if West Ham have to look at something like that. During his time at Schalke, he was deployed mostly as a centre-back or defensive midfielder, but then when new head coach came in, they mainly used him in the left-back position, and he's distinguished himself in that position really strongly. Physically strong and tactically clever, he consistently wins one-to-one duels against his opponents. He constantly fires in crosses, and that's been a really effective part of his game. But his defensive qualities consistently expose the left side of the defence. His forward movement leaves space in behind, and he rarely is able to recover in a position as a result, which is what we're struggling with right now. Therefore, do we want to bring in a player who struggles with those? That's his downsides to his game. So I've mentioned to you Emerson, who can track back. That's his ability. And Kolasinac has not got the ability really to track back, but his forward attacking ability is good. We have players that can do that. Is that something we want to look at? £9 million, really steep. Do we really want to be making that amount of money, that purchase, if we don't have the money? Like I said, if we're going out for Tarkowski, who's apparently going to be upwards of £40 million. Get your comments and let me know your thoughts on some of these links. Lastly, I want to give you my little kind of opinion on the Declan Rice situation. Let's be honest. What would you be thinking if you were Declan Rice, an England international with clubs who have a real shot of winning silverware or challenging for the title showing you interest, whilst your club you play with, your owners are completely way off the mark with running the football club? Too many messages have come out from players that have left the club, ex-pros and so on and so forth, that West Ham fans are easily being able to make their own mind up on how the club is being ran, easily. We find ourselves with another talent that we should be building our future around, but what we see is the board or the club sending out mixed messages to the fans via multimedia outlets, people like TalkSport, people like Jim White. But this is a player, Declan Rice, who again we've found to, we've brought through, we came from Chelsea, but we've still had to bring him through the ranks at West Ham to find his opportunity at the club. We need to build around this guy. We need to build around this guy and build upon what we have got at the club. What a massive hole we would find ourselves in if we did actually sell Declan Rice for whatever that Chelsea are potentially rumoured to be bidding for him. Today they're saying that they're going to go all out to try and bring in their player this summer. Now they're on a spending spree. And would it add value to Chelsea? Absolutely. Would it add value to any club that's out there? Absolutely. But what would you be thinking if you were Declan Rice? He was brought up in that youth setup. He supports the club, and his best mates are all at the club. I don't want him to go. It'd be a disaster for West Ham if he was to go. But to consider selling Rice this summer would be the final nail in the coffin. Would just cause absolute disarray between the West Ham fans and the boards and the club. And what message does that send into the rest of the team when you're selling your best player? Again, we don't want to be known as that club that's selling our best players. The Diangana sale, you can argue to your cows come home, but there's a difference between a Diangana sale and a potential Declan Rice sale. What does it say for West Ham fans when we say, no, we're not selling Declan Rice this summer, but we're going to sell him next summer? What messages is that putting out to the players you've got in the current squad, and also the messages to players you're trying to sign for the club? You know, if Tarkowski is looking at the club thinking, yeah, I want to come in and build something with West Ham, but hold on a second, we're going to sell our best player next season for a certain amount of money, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. I'm very aware we're in a pandemic. I'm very aware clubs are struggling, but we do not want to be selling our best players. It doesn't matter for how much money. I know players all have a price value, but right now we need to be keeping a hold of Declan Rice and giving Declan Rice or West Ham the opportunity to build in and around him. That's not Declan Rice's fault. That's the club's fault for the way it's been managed. We cannot sell Declan Rice this summer or next summer, and we need to plan as if he is going to be staying past next summer. Do I think he's going to be here next summer? Probably not. What a defeatist attitude I have become as a West Ham fan, and that's the messages that's getting brought out from the board all the way to the fans. All we want is a bit of transparency. That's all we ask for. Give me that transparency as a West Ham fan. Let us know what your intentions are, because there's rumours kicking about that people are making bids for the club to buy out the club. I absolutely want the club to be bought out from these owners. Does that mean that we'll have the best owners in the world stepping into their shoes next? Probably not, and might not be. Hopefully it would be, but it's all about the intentions and transparency. If an owner comes and starts speaking to the fans and letting us know exactly what they're going to do and getting fan involvement, then it's only but a good message. But currently I'm struggling not to, I've always been bored out, but I'm struggling not to see how they can't see what they're doing so wrong when they feed out awful messages through the mainstream media and don't come direct through their own website or to the club or to the fans and speak or listen. It's just roundabouts with West Ham. Roundabouts. Same old shit, different day, and that's exactly what we're used to as West Ham fans. Get your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on what I've mentioned to you with the 3 potential links and potentially 1 outgoing with Declan Rice. Would you accept a fee and Ross Barkley for Declan Rice? I don't know. I like Ross Barkley. I think he'd be a great addition to the West Ham side, but I don't want to sell Declan Rice to get him in. So get your comments in and subscribe and thumbs up. Anton, Irons United, come on you Irons.